So what we're gonna talk today, what I wanna share with you today, it's another fun fold card. So it's Fun Friday, and I really like something unusual, some different folds. So, so this is what we're gonna do today. This is little card, and it's actually stands. I really like something that you could actually present and become not only a card, but also could be a little like centerpiece or some decoration on your table, on your desk, when you at work, something to bring you smile. And you could always do greetings on a back. What is cool about this set, it's actually folding like this. So you could actually mail it. It's actually supposed to go in a mail like so. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna concentrate summer. Here is a fall. Again, I use all new in colors and that particular bundle, a designer paper that I just show you, and different sides of that designer paper. So so those images were pre-stamped and colored. And then another one, this is winter. Just thinking of you. I didn't stamp flowers. I actually fussy cut them from designer paper. Again, I wanted to make sure I kind of master that fold so I could teach it effectively. And as I said, it's nicely standing. It's pretty sturdy, but also it fits an envelope. See, you could mail it if you need to, right? Kind of present it this way. All right. So let's just start. So what we will need for this card, if I could find my measurements, and I will post all the measurements for you. We will need to have any cardstock, and cardstock will be slightly smaller than half sheet. So it's 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. And then you need to have another cardstock, and it could be the same color. Like on this card, I use big piece or card base, and this is kind of centerpiece. I use exactly the same color, or you could just do different. So it doesn't really matter. I will use different as well. So the smaller piece will be 3 by 5 3/4. All right, then let's just do some scoring and let's put this card together. Actually, what is interesting that both pieces kind of, how you score it, it's a little bit similar, the big one and a small one. So the big one, we're gonna score at 1/2 inch. We're gonna score it at 1 3/4. We're gonna score it at 3 3/4. And we're gonna score it at 5. So this leaves us with 5 1/2, which is standard size for a card. So this is your base. And a small piece, after I have my scoring tool, we're gonna score kind of exactly the same, just first 2 scored line, 1/2 inch and 1 3/4. And that's all scoring. Then what we need for the card, we will need to have white piece for stamping. We're gonna fold it, and the white piece, Whisper White, is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And this piece probably could be a little bit wider, but this is, I find it optimal. And you will need to have 2 pieces of designer paper. One is 4 by 4, probably could be 4 by 3 3/4. But will be easier to, when you do 4 by 4, then you don't really need to think the direction of your paper. And then you also will need a piece that is 4 inches by 1 3/4. And I'm kind of torn which side I want to use. So you could switch and you'll have that bumblebee, or you could use this one as this midnight. I forgot how it's called. So let's start assembling our card. So first we definitely need to score everything really nice. And I do recommend, for assembling the card, I do recommend you to have either wet glue or tear tape. So tear tape for me works the best. So put your designer piece of paper first, and then we're gonna put everything else. So that 4x4 piece goes to the top of the card. Like so. And that piece, we could put it later. It's not really critical. If you want to, you basically will need to put it here. But let's just put it later so we didn't mess it up. So now we're gonna apply. So the idea is you're kind of gonna make it like a little chair, if you will, right? So apply tear tape on this side. Take it off, and I'll show you how to, when you're basically trying to stand your card and do it, it's pretty hard to do. So what you want to do, you basically want to fold two lines, see, like so. And then you fold it here. This is how your card gonna be folding in a mail, right? And then after you open, you will have a perfect placement. You don't need to kind of, and it's gonna be perfectly square, because this is how your card will be folding. So you have this piece. I'll just put a DSP. Sometimes I don't put designer paper because I'm thinking, I just wanted to make sure it's gonna be right side. There, because we glue over, we needed to put that back piece. So let's put this one. All right. And now we're gonna move to our focal piece. So we will start to putting tear tape also on that 1/2 piece. So this is where you wanted to put it. Let me know if it's clear so far. See, I don't see the comments here. Give me 1 second. Now I do see. So what we're gonna do, remember, like we were saying, that card is folding like this, right? So after you apply it here, fold it so you only have your center piece. And this is how you're gonna glue it. So you wanted to position it so that top is flat with your card. Of course, you wanted to center. I'm doing my best with the centering. And you're basically putting the top piece. So you see, we're not kind of measuring and kind of eyeballing, because this way card will definitely fold. So when I open, it folds. Now, what we're gonna do, after card is folded, we will open it here, put a strip on the back. Instead of, again, with the wet glue, you will need to guess how much glue to put. Because I kind of see my measurements, I could do it like this. Sherry, you're asking about sizes. So here are the sizes. If you're asking about cardstock, is 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. I'll just leave it here. And a small panel is 3 by 5 3/4. So now you just take those pieces out. And you fold it. So here is your skeleton of the card. See, right now it's folded, and again, if you bring an envelope, it's perfectly fitting in an envelope. Now we're ready to decorate. And with this one, basically, let's say if we're gonna do a Christmas or some fall one, so not only we could do like a centerpiece, like here, but we could actually stamp it and maybe even extend our design. Like let's say you could do Christmas trees or something like this. The only trick is you try not to have design too far out because they're not gonna fit in an envelope. So I think this one, and I really want to use these flowers, but they were taller, so it will not fit in my standard envelope. So you want it to, when you're gonna glue your piece, even it's gonna look like it's fitting, in order to fit, you wanted to make sure you're not going over the top of this card. So we have that. Now let's gonna go ahead and glue this piece. I'm not gonna stamp on that. Again, you could stamp, you could color on this piece. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stamp on a scrap piece of paper. Straight enough, and then we're gonna do some stamping. So I picked this flower. Where's my flower? Here it is. And what we're gonna do is just because we're gonna be coloring, we're gonna do Memento ink. My blocks need to have some wash. Here. And here. So I use piece of, I think it's a hair sand for the jar. So I don't need to kind of make the jar not transparent. So I don't need to kind of put the water and stamps and stuff like that. But you could add all this fun stuff. Just re-ink my ink pad, so I hope it's gonna work out. Yeah, and I agree that if you'll have a die cut for that will be easier, but again, it's also, you could stamp it and color on a piece of paper like so, right, and then put a jar on top, so you don't necessarily need to cut if you don't like fussy cutting. And here's our little jar. And we will use punch to do it, and we're gonna fussy cut and color the image. For the sake of the video, of course, I'm not gonna make you watch how I color. Suggestion will be with that designer paper, just pick the colors that match, so all the ink colors will match. The blue and green, and we don't have a bumblebee, but the closest one to that, you probably could use Daffodil Delight. The closest one I found is Mango Melody, so I suggest you to use those. And with the magic of the video, I already have mine done. Probably wanted to have 2 flowers yellow, but that's started a little bit wrong. Just dimensionals. Put those 2 together and you have it. I think those smaller flowers, I like them a little bit more than the tall one because again, for this particular fold, it fits much better. So any of you guys watching Hamilton tonight? What's your plans? I'm not ready to show you. I'll post another picture, but I have my morning Hamilton t-shirt. We have evening one for everybody with the gold, black and gold, and we made for me and Sophia gray ones. So it's our morning shorts. We were joking, our exercise shorts. So here is the card. We're gonna add little bow, and again, it's hard to decide which one. I think any color you put, it's gonna work fine. I did pre-stamp I pre-stamp Celebrate again from this stamp set, and I'm gonna use Magenta Madness. Did you notice we're using Magenta Madness again? We were joking. Like last 3 videos, I'm actually using that. I just cannot get it enough. When I create samples, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do Magenta Madness. I'm just do something else. And then when it comes to the video, I'm like, oh, the only color missing is Magenta Madness. I need to do that. All right. So we're gonna glue this little sentiment. And again, it just with a sentiment, you could probably go one way, depends on the sentiment. I just wanted to show you that particular fold, and because I'm featuring this stamp set, this is what I like the most. But that fold, I think, is gonna be great for any stamp set that you have, and it's not using that much. So here we have it. So here's our 4 cards, 4 seasons. I believe there's 1 stamp set that I didn't use yet for this fold. Yeah, let me know which one is your favorite. You could, of course, I didn't wink it, but we could add wink of Stella and do different things. So hope you like it. Hope you like that little fold. You like how it stands. It's looking interesting on the side as well. I will post all the dimensions in this video, and also later on I will have it on my blog. If you have any idea what you would like to see next time, or what type of fold, or maybe it's going to be 3D items, I also absolutely love to create different boxes or gift card holders. Not necessarily cards, I really like any kind of 3D. So Sherry's saying it's complicated. It's actually, I will do one more, maybe I'll do like clean recording step by step. If you watch a video on your pause, I think after you do 1 or 2 and kind of thinking how the card is folding, it's not complicated, because you don't really, you know, some things you need to kind of glue and eyeball. Again, I did 4 cards. I didn't screw up any, and believe me, I do screw up a lot of things sometimes when I try to figure things out. Just kind of think about that fold. All right, I hope all of you will have a great Friday. Share my video if you think somebody else will enjoy it and gonna like this fold. I will appreciate that. So have a nice Friday and happy 4th of July to you and your family. I see you on Facebook Live next Friday at 11. Bye.